Good evening, or good day, or wherever it is, wherever you are. Welcome to Rock Players. We are not that many right now, but we might be more in a minute. But first of all, let's say hi to Rudigs. Welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on Rock Players. Glad to be here.
Always welcome to be here. Welcome to join us. And also, mostly Martinez, thank you for joining us. And hello.
Hey, happy to be back here. It's been a bit. I am kind of in the middle of my second COVID stint here, but I didn't want to miss this day. So, yeah, happy to be here as well.
Awesome to have you. Holtz is joining a bit later. He's been away at I think it was a family funeral or something like that. So his hopefully his stay will be hopefully it was a nice service, and he'll be joining us whenever he's back. No Rock today. Rock is taking some sleep time because he was up all night doing uh, hanging out with streams with some of you guys here, right? So yeah, so it's just so far it's just the three of us. We have more people joining us later, and we're also gonna do something a bit special today. We're gonna do. I was thinking we're gonna drop the link to the guest link in chat later, so you guys can join us as a bit of an open mic thing. As we start getting to essentially doing let's call it the stadium memorial service because that's essentially what it's gonna be. We're gonna, but it's not gonna be one of those downy ones. It's gonna be we're gonna delve into the things that were good about it. As like, I mean, it's over now. We can reminisce about the good old days, so to speak. But before we do it, let's just get warmed up, get going, and I mean there is always news happening. Even though this has been a kind of slow news week, I basically only have one minor story and one major story that we can go over before we really get into the thing we're here all here for. Just quickly note, the Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are now on Game Pass Ultimate with touch support on mobile. So that's cool.
Nice.
I haven't played Persona at all, so I should probably delve into that, and I need to play them for my document with all of the how it plays on mobile. I saw some screenshots of them, and I don't think they will get a recommendation on there, but it might surprise me. So, do you guys play anything on xCloud or and especially xCloud Mobile?
Yeah, I run xCloud quite often, maybe 4 to 6 sessions a week. I'll boot up some Battlefield 2040. I'll play with a bunch of the guys. There are games like Grounded. We have a group right now. We're exploring that game. I booted up the Ninja Turtles. A couple of us got into there and all played together. It's now, I would say, the hub where if we all want to play together in a click to play scenario, the Game Pass xCloud is really the easiest barrier for anybody to hop in to a big multiplayer sesh. Such like Wreckfest is another one. We used to play that all the time on Stadia, and now it seems to be the new home is xCloud to play Wreckfest on.
Yeah, and that incidentally plays kind of well, kind of decently on mobile, especially if you. I mean, I wouldn't say the races play that well, but like the demolition derbies, they you can definitely play that on phone with touch controls. So yeah, breakfast is good. Martinez, how about you? Are you playing any xCloud
Yeah.
on mobile?
So, I don't play a ton on it. My son does. He actually
Fair
plays a
enough.
lot of xCloud. It's right now he's been playing a lot of Super Lucky's Tale. And
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
it's actually been playing pretty good. He because we have it on the Xbox, obviously, but yeah, like when we're out and about and stuff, it is pretty nice. You know, you just jump on the phone and pick up where you left off, like on my same account. And yeah, so I think I've had like good experiences and bad experiences, and it's been kind of sporadic and all over the place. Sometimes I'll be playing something and it'll be great, just like on like my phone's data, right? And I'm like, man, this is
Yeah,
amazing. And then sometimes I'll be on Wi-Fi, which I know is great, and it's like bad. So I'm like, I don't know.
yeah,
Like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. It's kind of been sporadic for us, but I still do love what it is and it does for us, giving us an extra flexibility to be able to jump in and play some games, on the go. Or sometimes we've even played like, I'm playing one game and my son's playing another game right beside me, but using XCloud, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah, I mean it's xCloud is one of those like my son is bugging me of like he wants to get on there as well. Well, and I've been thinking maybe I should log into my account. There is a downside of him then getting access to a bunch of games he should not even know about.
yeah.
Um, but at the same time, like, and while I think he could probably like manage that and like like respect the rules, I would sit down. I've also realized the reason he wants it is because he wants to be able to play Minecraft Dungeons on his phone, and he want to play multiplayer with me. So we
Hmm.
need two subscriptions. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for
Right.
two subscriptions when I know we're getting the family plan any day now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
I'm in the same
I'm
boat. My son's right at that age where he definitely wants to play with me, and that's the kind of the issue is right now I don't have two separate accounts, right? Just
yeah,
because to me it isn't cost effective for me to have two accounts quite yet, but it's getting there because he's always like, "Oh, can we just play together whenever there's a two-player game?" Which we can get into this later, but that's why I love Stadia because
yeah, yeah,
like Hezekiah, he'd be able to have his own account like in the family, and then we could actually, as long as one of us had the game, and if it was on pro, like we only had to buy one game, and then we could play together. And so that was pretty sweet, like so now he thinks he can do that on anything, like on Xbox or PlayStation or any of the
yeah,
other things. He's like, oh, let's play together. Even like Nintendo, it's like we only have one account, we can't play against each other. And so it's coming when I'm gonna have to fork out the
yeah.
cash.
I'm looking forward to it. But I think I mean, I just decided I'm not gonna get a second subscription. I'm just gonna wait for that family
Yeah,
plan.
the
Like
family
it's
one.
not it does because I mean I know it's coming. It doesn't make any sense to have two of them. But
Yeah.
I need him to like I need to get to the point where I can give him access.
Yeah.
And I also have some friends that I was like, yeah, I could probably add you. Like I don't have any. It's just me and my son in my Minecraft
Yeah.
family group. I can add some friends to there and we can share the load. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
it's gonna be work out great in the end. It's just come on Xbox, get there. Uh, Yeah, and also let's just say MJ Parks, thanks for becoming a member to the Rokk channel. Awesome to
MJ
see.
Parks.
Doragon is lurking while watching the Bulls Paris game. Not sure which sport that is, but then again, I'm Swedish, so I'm guessing that's an American sport. So I'll leave that to you guys to understand. And I'm surprised to see Rock show here because dude, aren't you supposed to be asleep by now? Like you've been up all night, dude. Happy to see you here, but don't
Some
like
of us are awake. Some
yeah.
of us are awake who've been up all night.
Don't forget to get some sleeps at some point, Rock. But happy to see you. And it's just Joe is in the house. Hey, Joe. So yeah, and obviously the big story today, apart from obviously Stadia closing technically yesterday, but time zones for me it's today. Obviously the big story is GeForce Now is rolling out the Ultimate tier in the 4080s today.
Hmm.
Uh, it's where's Holtz? Holtz is coming soon. It's late. I think it's maybe running a bit late from the funeral he was on.
As
Um,
the local GFN ambassador, do you want me to read out exactly what they have here for us?
yeah, if you want, you can even share your screen. When I do that, I sound like a robot for some reason. I've been trying to fix that, and just can't figure out what's we're going wrong. But please do share your screen as well.
Oh,
If
it's
it,
a Discord chat, so
oh no,
not
okay, yeah,
yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
not
not that.
exactly sure. I don't want to show
But
something that shouldn't be
it is
shown.
on the blog. It's you have the blog post.
Oh, okay.
Wrong. But yeah, we can go with the blog post because it's there's also some games coming, of course. So while you get that set up, I can just quickly mention that yeah, Cloud has now Ultimate rollouts, and so far it's rolling out in the San Jose, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Frankfurt, Germany data centers. So if you're connecting to one of those, you might get on a 4080 tier, essentially instead of the 3080. And I've seen some early reports that the frame rates can like 10x the frame rates at some point for some of these games.
Mm.
Like I think one of them was like I think the which someone reported a 5x FPS improvement in The Witcher 3 um, with ray tracing on. There we go, amazing. And then we put that on focus. No, not that one. There we go. Right.
Yeah, so we have Ultimate members will start to see RTX 4080 performance in their regions soon and experience titles like Warhammer 40,000, Darktide Cyberpunk 2077, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and more at Ultimate quality. New features are also available now for the Ultimate members streaming from RTX 3080 servers, and members will be able to check GFN Thursday for weekly updates in their regions. So a lot of awesome stuff here.
For sure. I mean, apart from that, obviously, with that comes the ability to get up to 240 frames per second if you have the hardware for it. That is if you have that's when you're paired with NVIDIA Reflex. So if you have a monitor that can do NVIDIA Reflex, then have fun with those 240 frames per second, which is insane when you think about it. You can also do 4K gaming with 120 FPS, which is also incredibly fast. Support for DLSS 3 and RTX on, of course, as well. And for the first time, ultra-wide resolutions are supported, giving members a wider point of view at up to 3,840 pixels times 1600 at 120 FPS. So yeah, I haven't had time to try it out yet. Have anyone of you tried it out yet?
So I booted up my GFN to see if I had access, but as you see, the rollout here is I'm over there in the top where the Great Lakes are. So I'm nowhere near one of these 4080 SuperPod servers as of yet.
I think you might it might route you to one if they think it's gonna give you a better experience anyway. So there might be cases where you like get one anyway if you're like, yeah, there wasn't any good. We didn't have any good 3080s in your closest data center, so we're gonna route you to Dallas. That can they said that can that might happen for some people, but generally, yeah, if you're living far away from one of these four, then you're probably not gonna get it for some time. But they are rolling it out continuously over the next couple of weeks and months. So hopefully before long you can get it. I haven't had time to try it, as I said, but I've seen reports. I think Rokk has tried it and it's rendering a video, so keep an eye out for that. It's gonna probably drop. I don't know, later tonight, I'm guessing.
I booted up Destiny 2 on GeForce Now about 2 hours ago, and I saw that they were connecting me to a Canadian data server, and I was still getting the 3080. So we're being told that it's going to be rolling out over the next month.
But it's also going to be like if it's a game that doesn't that's not going to run that much better on a 4080. Like let's say you're playing something like Hearts of Iron 4. Great strategy game, but does not require a 4080 at all. Like it doesn't even stress a 3080. For that, like if you're playing something like that, you're never gonna get a 4080 Pro, because it's gonna be routed to a machine that's perfectly catered to the one you have.
I think I'm the same. I'm up in either Wyoming part of the year or I'm in Hawaii part of the year. So both of those is pretty far away from where they're at right now. But whenever I've played, I play like Destiny usually on GeForce, and I've had like a really good experience with that. Super smooth. I felt. It felt right, like the movement and the shooting, everything like that, like kind of right away. And anytime that I've played it, it looked good, felt good. And so I think it's like one of those things that eventually if 4080 comes and I play 4080, then I'd be like, oh shoot, like now I want that, but I think since I've never experienced it so far, like I think where I'm at right now, it feels good, plays good. So, I mean, obviously I'm always for more technology, but I'm not in a big rush.
I know that Project Storm, who's in chat, has played it, and he's saying it's really, really good.
Oh yeah, I saw he was posting up about that, rocking that.
Well, he
Yeah,
has his own personal
he
4090, I think,
does.
installed in his computer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, the difference in terms of playing on Stadia, which is an upscale from a 1080 to a 4K, and then playing on a true 4K, increasing the field of view, notching up all of the settings.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's gonna be
it's
great.
beyond beautiful when
Yeah,
you start to go through the worlds there.
yeah, it really is. And they're mentioning here that each week the GFN 30 will spotlight new cities with upgraded servers. So next week probably gonna see some more, and then some more the week after that. It's gonna be slowly rolling out over the next couple of weeks, a few weeks at a time, a few cities at a time. So hopefully you guys don't have to wait more than a week um, for to get access. I think I usually connect to the Frankfurt data center normally anyway, so I think for me it's gonna be I can probably get a hold of one.
Yeah,
Nice.
you should boot it up and then you hit Control N,
Yeah,
and
I
then
just gotta
it'll
find time.
tell you
Yeah,
what you're running.
I need to do that. So yeah, and also obviously some games coming as well. New update to Genshin Impact, and the more I see about that game, I just want to get back into it. I played it for a bunch, and then I stopped playing it for a while because I got stuck. And now I kind of feel like I want to go back down now. Damn it, it's a good game. And
Yeah, I
free, so I mean, there's no.
recently popped into it. I think it's a good appetizer for Tears of the Kingdom, getting me more pumped for that Breath of the Wild type of
Yeah,
gameplay, that world. Also, I'm trying to get up to level 16 so I can start playing with friends because I didn't know that was a barrier in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
I
it's a
didn't
little
even
bit
know
of a
that
grind early
existed
on.
until I got like, I didn't know that was a thing until I suddenly got there and like, oh, I can play with people. That's weird. Like I didn't know.
Oh wow. So yeah,
So
you found it as a caveat where I thought it was going to be given to me right away. And so
yeah,
now I
no, it
find
was like,
myself grinding.
yeah, no, I was just surprised by that. And I mean, I did get to a point. I think I got to level 23 or 33. I think it was 33, and then I got stuck because I have this to progress to the story. I need to grind, and I just didn't want to grind at that time, and now and I haven't really dove back. And now whenever I dive back in, it's like, where do I start? Like, I've forgotten everything. What do I
Mm-hmm.
do? So yeah, I need to decide what to do with that game. But I really do like it. It is really good, and I especially like the fact that you can just jump in, play for 10, 15 minutes, and actually accomplish something, and then you can just drop out again.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can play for 3 hours and still like it's not gonna get stale. They managed to do something like somehow they managed to build something for those who just want to play a little bit and those who want to play a lot, um,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of hard to do, I think, normally. But we're
Yeah.
getting games like this week or today. We're getting games like Farlanders, which is a new release dropping today. Surviving the Abyss. I've seen Duncan play this a bit, and I'm excited to play it. I've played a little bit of Surviving Mars and a little bit of Surviving the Aftermath, and they're great survival set builders. It's just like with Frostpunk. That world is out to get you. Like it's not easy to make those people survive, but it's a lot of fun. Essentially, just build a city and don't die in the process. So yeah, and then we have Tortuga: A Pirate's Tale, which I've not really looked into, but just the name alone alone has me intrigued to try it out for some reason. I don't even know why.
Yeah.
Um,
Turtle.
exactly. Epistory: The Tybring Chronicles, free on Epic Games. It's also added today. So that's a game that was actually on Stadia before. So now, I mean, claim it and you can play for free on GFN through the cloud, which is not too shabby. Um, and then we have Absolute Drift, the Steam version. We have Blacktail, Steam and Epic. Dwarf Fortress from Steam. Is that the one? Isn't that the one that was like that's kind of massive?
Yeah, I believe
Am I
they've been
remember?
producing it for many years
Yeah,
now.
and it's
This
like
Dwarf
it's just,
Fortress, and it kept
yeah, it's just
molding and
basic.
morphing.
Yeah, and super basic graphics, but super good. It's supposed to be one of the best strategy games in a long time, I think, or simulation games. I gotta play that. Hello Neighbor 2, Steam and Epic. That's out as well. And Nebulous Fleet Command, and then Shadow Tactics, Akio's Choice. It's added to the library this week. Anything there you guys gonna play?
Personally, maybe Shadow Tactics. I was able to claim that on the Epic Games Store a couple days ago. But other than that, these are not really my flavor of games currently. I mean, with the titles that are around the corner and that I'm playing right now, it's a little hard to get into these smaller titles. But if something grabs me, if a lot of people are into a multiplayer, if there's a Souls like that really drives me to complete it, then I'm there for sure. But I don't see that in this list currently.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. I got like so much stuff going on right now, so many games that I'm playing, well, trying to play on stream with Hezekiah, and then play myself, and then also play together off stream. There's just so much stuff going on right now, but I know like the Hello Neighbors, the first one was pretty fun. We haven't done the second one, so that might be something we eventually get into. And then like you were saying too, the Tortuga, the pirate one. I'd have to look a little bit more into that one. I hadn't even heard of that till you read it today, so I might look into
Yeah,
that one. That one might be a kind of fun one to kind of play together.
yeah, definitely. I think there was one of those pirate games, I think Port Royale was a game. It's like a trading strategy game thing that came out
Mm-hmm.
several years ago. I remember playing that as like like I think it was maybe around 10 or something. I remember I just learned English. I was playing that. I had a lot of fun with that game.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's anything like that, I'm excited. But yeah, I've dropped a link in chat. So if you want to join us and talk about Stadia, then please click that link and jump in for some open mic fun. And in the meantime, we're gonna get started. So obviously, Stadia is now officially gone. It's been shut down. You can't play it anymore. I mean, did you both stay up all night playing, or was it just you, Rudix?
Yeah. So I was kind of watching everybody else. Since my whole family was sick, so we've been up like
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much all night, all day. Anyways, Hezekiah was playing Kakarot, so his kind of story was like I thought it was gonna end, so I was even like recording him to the time playing it, right? And then like it just kept going. So I was like, oh shoot, like who knows how long it's gonna go? I think he played another like half an hour or something like that, and then he was kind of just like done playing. So I was like, I had
Yeah.
no idea how long the it was going to keep going, just kind of jumping around from everybody else's streams. It kind of seemed like some people didn't have access when Hezekiah was still playing. So yeah, I don't know what the difference was, or if it was, yeah, if you're in menus, or what kind of kicked you off, or if you couldn't just sign in at a certain time. But yeah, we played a good 30 minutes after everybody thought it was supposed to end.
Yeah, I played for quite a long time. I jumped in a little bit as well, but you Rudix, how long did you play for last night?
So my time, I started at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and for me, it was projected to close at 3 a.m. Eastern time. However, we were able to continue to play, I believe, for another hour after
You went
that.
13 hours.
And
Am I
no,
am I
it
doing the
was a
math correctly?
no, it was a 7 hour stream.
7 hours. Damn, that's
Yeah,
still a
it's a
lot. I mean, I've
7 hour
done it.
stream for the end of it, and I believe I shut it off just coming up to. Jeez, I gotta do the math now. Haven't slept last night, but yeah, it was either 4 or 5 when we finally pulled the trigger on the stream, and I have the very last moment. So my Stadia cut out. I was not able to play any of my games. I tried them all out. However, we had Ray, the gaming cyborg, and we had Doragon in their respective places, one in the UK and one on the West Coast. And they were playing at the exact same time. NBA 2K was the only game still going, and simultaneously, both of them cut out at the exact same time. Yeah, here we have it. I have the exact moment, and so I have Ray there. I pulled his screen up, streaming at the bottom. Let's see if I can get this to work here. We are just watching NBA 2K here. And yeah, it was just all of us hanging out here on chat. We were just reminiscing about Stadia. It was about 4:30 in the morning here. Um, oh, I was burning on just like adrenaline of, just being part of history.
Yeah.
Um, it was really just something. So Ray is holding up his phone in Discord because he got it. His computer version completely crapped out, and he was able to get it working on mobile. So he's simulating an NBA 2K game, while Dorgon was streaming his, and I'm capturing his screen because all my Stadia was gone and out, and I had refreshed the screen and had gone to the ending screen already. Oh man, and we were all in there. We had a lot of people, a lot of Stadia vets. We had Jack to Slip was in the chat. We had John Scar. We had I hope we had some Stadia alumni watching. That's what everyone was saying. Like there was a lot of people there, so we think they were watching with us until the end. Oh,
Yeah.
hopefully I didn't go back too far. I want to get this exact moment. So
It's hard to like it's hard to pinpoint that on like 7 hour stream though.
yeah, no, I got it though. I got it. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
in
Soon.
20 seconds here.
Awesome. Awesome. I'll remove our faces then so we can see the full. Because
And so you
I
can
mean I missed this and I'm sure someone else did, some other people did as well.
I also I time stamped it in the video just like because I felt like it was a point of history when
Yeah, I mean it really is. I mean today
all
this
right,
will
so
probably go down as a
in
as a
10
day.
seconds we should see an absolute cutoff, and that was the last moment. So 6 hours and 42 minutes into the stream, started at 10 p.m. So that would have been 4:42 Eastern time. Boom, right there. Ray's cuts out and Dorgon's cuts out at the exact same time.
Damn.
And there I
That's
am
cool to see.
in shock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's dope. So
And
yeah, I
there
mean
we have
it's
it. History.
yeah. Oh, we have some Norwegian in chat here. Hang on, I'll translate it for you. It's Happy Cloud Gamer says it's sad that Stadia has been closed down. I know that I've been extremely hard against Stadia and um, let's see. It's hard to translate twice. Let's see. And my intentions have been mixed in that regard. I think it's never been any hate against Stadia. I just want to I just want Stadia to make it better. But I blame Google, not the Stadia team. Yeah, and I think we all do. In a sense, like Stadia, the product was never the problem.
Right.
But guys, how did you guys get started with Stadia? I think we might have talked to you about it before, Martinez, briefly, but I think
Yeah,
I
I
want to hear
mean,
how you get started.
I watch the news every morning on YouTube. It's kind of my tradition, and I was actually seeing a news article, or sorry, an advertisement for Stadia, and it was just kind of this obscure thing. I didn't really understand it, so I actually had to look it up to find out more about what was happening because I had taken a break from AAA gaming. My last system was the PS2. I had a Nintendo Switch that I had occasionally played, like the Super Mario and the Breath of the Wild, but other than that, I didn't really pick it up. So I was interested in getting back into AAA gaming. Signed up for a Founders Edition. I was part of the fiasco where the day had come, people were starting to play and who just signed up the day of, but I was a founder and I didn't get my code or my controller. Eventually, I did end up getting my code. I plugged in a Nintendo Pro controller because I didn't have my Founders Edition into my Apple computer, my laptop there, and I actually grabbed Red Dead Redemption because I was like, let's get into some AAA gaming I've been missing. And I enjoyed the hell out of that. I played it, it ran perfectly fine, smooth. I never really pushed the system, even though I was a pro member from the beginning. Yeah, I had an absolute blast getting into that. And then it was really when I ran out of Red Dead Redemption looking for more experiences, got into Destiny 2, and for the very first time got into fire teams, started talking to people. Nads and I became friends, chatting every single day over COVID as we were both locked in. We eventually started the podcast and yeah, got into this awesome community. So it was really like an organic growth from this platform. And it was really something that, it'll be hard to replicate in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think mine is kind of similar as far as, just finding out about it through, the news kind of. But mine was, so Rue Diggs is similar in this way. I'm big into Destiny. And when this was coming out, I was even more into Destiny. So I was watching crazy amounts of content from different Destiny creators, and that's how I found out about Stadia, because before Stadia launched, they had an event where they were basically doing a blind test for gamers to see if they could tell, what was basically Stadia and what was console. And so they
I missed that.
basically
That's
had the,
cool.
I know, and I can't find it anywhere. And so some people don't even believe me, but this actually happened. So they basically had two TVs set up, and they had some different people in the Destiny community even get to go and try this because it's obviously their game. But anyways, they had these two boxes side by side, two TVs side by side. They went in and they had to put their hands in a box, right? And play on one controller and then play on the other controller, and then they had to decide which one do you think is in the cloud and which one do you think is on a console. And like almost all of them couldn't tell. They like, some of them guessed, like they're like, oh, maybe it's this one, maybe, like no one even could tell. And so I was like, what the heck, like this is all
Yeah, that's
cloud,
impressive.
like, so like I was all like, man, this is so cool. And same thing, like, so then I started looking up a bunch of stuff about it, like, oh man, it's from Google, wow, that's crazy, and it's coming out and all this stuff. And so I was getting excited. I wanted to do the founder thing because I was like, oh man, I should do that, this seems totally up my alley and everything. But it was right around the time I was flying to Hawaii. And so I was like, oh man, like, oh, maybe I can just wait, as soon as I get done with work, fly back to the mainland, I'll get it. But anyways, what ended up happening was, in the midst of looking at all of this, like, Stadia news and everything, YouTube's algorithm started putting people that talked about Stadia. And so Sunny popped up. And I was like, oh, I'll watch this video about it. And I watched like one video of his, and I was like, man, this guy's just cool. Like, doesn't even matter about Stadia. He's just a cool guy. So, anyways, I subscribed to his channel, and I'm listening, and he's talking about it. Like, oh, this is so cool, and this and that. I'm a founder, everything. And anyways, like, as it kind of went on, he started giving away games like on his channel. And so he did a giveaway in his chat, and I ended up winning it. It was something. I think it was the monster truck one. Now I'm spacing what it's called, but it was like,
Monster Jam,
yeah, yeah. There you go.
something, something, something.
Yeah,
Energy, whatever.
Monster Madness or something like that. But
Yeah,
anyways, I was
long
like,
title.
yeah. So I was like, oh man, this is awesome, cool, And I was like, and so then, like, I was like, now that I have it, I got to get this, like, I already have a game
Yeah,
for it, right? So anyways, I'm like, all right, so I go to order it, and I've definitely told this story before, but anyway, so I go to order it, and I'm all excited about it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go all, let's get the whole setup, the controller, with the play and everything like that, right? Or the Chromecast or whatever.
yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let's get that, and then I'm all like looking on eBay for like, phone holders and all this type of stuff. I'm going like all out, right? Well, anyways, while I'm in the midst of looking for like the phone holder, I get an email from Google that says your order has been canceled. So I was like, what?
What?
And I was like, no way. So I pop back in there, and I was like, what happened? Is it my card? Like, I'll just try another card. So anyways, I tried again. I'm all good, just waiting to get another email. Your order's been canceled. And I was like, what the heck? I'm trying to buy something from you. Anyway, so I go into chat, start talking to him. Long story short, I found out what Primo found out is Google doesn't ship to Hawaii. So I was like,
Right. Yeah.
no. And anyway, so then I still had to be there like almost 6 months. So I was just like, dang it, like, man, this stinks. And I almost thought, I was to the point of like calling my family and being like, I'm gonna ship this to you and you ship it to me. And Anyways, long story short, I was like, I can wait. So I still bought everything. I shipped it to my house over in Wyoming, and I had to wait 6 brutal months before I could actually play
Oof,
it.
yeah, that
It was
sucks.
just like sitting over there. But as soon as we got
People like
home,
Rudix
popped
was
that thing
complaining about a few
open.
days. You had to wait 6 months.
Yeah. So it was just sitting there all nice, and it's like, like in its wrapped, plastic and everything. But yeah, I bust home, ripped that thing open, plugged it all in, booted it up. You get like, whatever it is, like a free month or something of Pro.
Yeah,
I
I
start
think
going
three
through
months.
that collection. Okay, yeah. I started going through that collection, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. Like for Hezekiah too. There's tons of like, kid appropriate games, some for me too. So I was like, man, this is so cool. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely all in on this. Booted up Destiny too, as well. And I was like, man, this plays amazing, because I skipped something. So when I first found out that it was available to use, I did the same thing that Rudix did, exactly the same thing. I connected my Switch Pro controller to my MacBook Pro, and that's how I played Destiny 2 for the very first time. And I was like, no way. Like, I'm playing Destiny on a MacBook. Like this,
Yeah.
this is impossible, like Apple doesn't let you play games, and so I was like, this is crazy. And so yeah, I didn't play too much on it, but that's when I knew too. I was like, this is where it's at. This is where the future's at. This is amazing, like the play anywhere structure. And yeah, so from there, as soon as I started getting into it, from Sunny, I started seeing other content creators, joining. I'm definitely a huge content consumer. I watch everybody's videos, and I love jumping in lives and everything, chatting with people. And so just from that, I started getting to know people, meet people, and I just realized like Stadia community is the best community there is. And so yeah, like
It
it's
really
gonna
is.
be
Like
it's gonna be
it's
sorely missed, Stadia, but I love that the community is, like, for the most part, all still intact. I feel super comfortable to talk to almost anybody I met within the Stadia community, like to this day and moving forward. I don't think anything will change.
yeah, I think a lot of us made friends for hopefully life through
Yeah.
this. And I mean, the platform might be gone, but those friendships they're real and they'll stay there. So yeah, it's really cool. I mean, yeah. For my own part, I started like I saw like I was in this weird position where I didn't really have time to play many games. I maybe played one gaming session on an old noisy PS4, or an old or my or a very old, quite old PC that I have. Like I played on one of those maybe once a month at best. I think I had like an average, yeah, maybe like 10 gaming sessions per year for like two almost 2 years. And then I saw but I still watched a lot of games on like Let's Plays and stuff, a bit of stuff live as well. And then I saw the and then I spotted kept track of the news. So the announcement at GDC was like, this is like, if someone like I had tried cloud gaming at that point already. I had tried both the original version of GFN, which is obviously the like when it was on because I had a Shield tablet, which was basically like Game Pass almost. Like it was, here's the library of games. They'll be streamed from our servers to your Shield device. You can play them right on there, and then it was back then it was more like Game Pass is than anything else. But it was like I think 20 to 50 games or something like that. Try that, worked fine. And then I tried
Hmm.
a service called Liquid Sky that worked pretty well as well. But then they went bankrupt. Fortunately, I didn't spend that much money on that. And it was like I spent about I think I paid for it like 3 4 months in a row, and then you say it has this weird system where you paid for credits, and the credits equaled like you basically got like 50, like I think it was 25 hours of gaming a month, but you got that in credits that you can then use it whenever. And since I didn't play much at all, I subscribed for like 3 months, and then I had enough to last me a year. So I used that to game for essentially for like paid 3 months to play for a year. It was a good deal to me.
Yeah.
But I think so yeah, I used that until my credits ran out, and then they went bankrupt. So, but at that point, that's when the Seder reveal happened, and I was like, I mean, I knew that when cloud gaming worked, I, but I felt I had been burned by by that liquid sky going under to see like I want to see someone big behind this. Nvidia was doing their thing, um, but yeah, it was like okay, Google. I love Android. I love YouTube. Google does some good shit. They also close some shit, but they do good shit, and they have. I mean, it's a big company behind this. Like this is,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what cloud needs. So I'll give it a go. So I was telling my wife like, and then when they showed the founders edition, I was like, telling my wife, I'm ordering this tomorrow. Like I'll give you an hour a night to think about it, but I'm ordering this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got my founder controller. I also got I got my code on I think it launched on the 19th. I got my code on 20th, and then I got my pack delivery on like the on I think Monday. But I got the code, jumped into Destiny. Up until this point, I had started binging. Like I think I watched every episode of StadiaCast up until that point, and for several months later as well, up to like I think we kept watching for a year or two after that until I started watching everything else and had time to watch more. And I watched, started watching Helix Cloud Gaming when they launched their Sons of Stadia. I started watching that. I think episode 4. I didn't think I missed a single one up until the end. So yeah, I mean, I started devouring Stadia content and played as you just the same as you did, Destiny. But I didn't have my controller, so it was Destiny on a Surface, like a Surface Pro 4 laptop tablet thing. With just a mouse, a Bluetooth mouse, and the keyboard that was on the laptop. And like on my lunch break at work, I'm like this is working perfectly. There's no lag that I can see. This is amazing. So I bought. I think when I got my controller, I picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey and then binged Odyssey for 250 hours.
Yeah.
Across the next couple of months. Let's see here, Lo-Fi. I see you don't have a camera on, but I'll add you because I think maybe you're ready to. Yeah, you don't have to have your camera on. So happy to have you here. Hi, Lo-Fi.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's good?
Are you tired?
I feel better now. I've had a little sleep.
Good.
Nice.
So yeah, how did you get into Stadia?
How did I get into Stadia?
Yeah, how did this unit start for you?
Well, I saw the Stadia announcement. I saw the commercial that was crazy with Reggie and
That
all
was so
that.
weird.
Yeah, I loved it. I
Yeah,
was excited.
Weird. Yeah, it was exciting times back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, the price for a pounder for some weird thing, and you don't know if it's gonna be any good. And I was like, you know what? I really want it. And I finally, I hesitated, and I shouldn't have, because by the time I went back to order it, they ran out of controllers, and I was like, I'm not doing it if I don't get a controller. So, and then because I knew immediately people were gonna talk smack about it because they ran out of
Yeah.
controllers. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to the haters. I know how people are because I remember when online was around, it was the same thing. It was a lot of hate. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna listen to this. I'm gonna come back in a couple months. I'll be able to get a controller and we'll see if there, because of course there's gonna be problems when they launch. They'll get it all worked out by then. So I completely forget about it for about a year, and then I was just sitting at home one day and I was like, you know what? That Stadia thing, I need to go look at that. And I just jumped in and started playing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean it's one of those. Yeah, it really was super easy. I think that was one of the most beautiful things about it, like just the ease of access, because it's. I mean, I love GFN, and I love xCloud. I'm trying a boost right now; it's working great as well. Cloud has always worked great for me since the first time I tried it. But it's so like the ease. No one is yet close to the ease of access. I think xCloud is getting is there the ease of access, but they're lacking in some other areas. I mean, I can be sometimes I have gigabit speeds. I have the Google Wi-Fi. I can sit like right next to the router and yet still only get like kind of bad experience sometimes. And then the next day it works great.
Yeah.
And then like I switch to like if it works bad, I switch to 4G and it works perfectly. And then 4G starts acting up, switch back to Wi-Fi. That works perfectly. It's one of those. It's a bit weird, but it's still early days for cloud anyway. Especially xCloud is still in beta. It's fine. But yeah, like cloud has been fun. But then I mean, so that's how we all started. But how did you get into create content creation then? Because the step from playing Stadia and having fun with that to content creation, that's
Oh man, it's because that they had that button you could click to just go live on YouTube, and I
Yeah.
was just kind of
yeah,
doing it, and then I started hearing the conversation around cloud gaming and Stadia, and I was tired of being in chat. I felt like I had something to say, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna say it out loud, and people can either accept it and respond, or we'll just see how it goes. And I went for it, and I was very well received by this community, and I've been here ever since.
yeah.
So
Uh,
my journey was a little bit different. I wanted to get into voice acting when it came to COVID because I wanted to do something to occupy my time, that something I kind of enjoyed. I always enjoyed reading stories out to my little siblings and stuff. And I always felt like I could have a narrative presence. So I wanted to get into gaming voice acting specifically, and a lot of advice heard was create your own podcast and start talking about games. So I started doing that because I really like Stadia Cast. I mean, that was a big influence. Uh,
Shout out Bill and Lloyd.
and how I sort of formed the show, and talking to Nads every day on Destiny 2. I said, let's talk about Stadia and Destiny 2 because that's what we do every day. And that's how the show sort of began to get its legs and evolve into Chat Stadia, and now Cloud and Console, as we've had to make some changes. But it was really
Yeah.
that kind of evolution. And really, when Rokk show, and he had Ray's Praise on, and they did a little segment on our show called Chat Stadia. They showed our show. He reached out to me on contact. That really pulled me into the community, because until then I was just kind of broadcasting to max 5 people, and I didn't know anybody in the surrounding community. So again, that interaction with Ray the Gaming Cyborg on Rock's show really brought us into the fold. So I'll always be thankful for that. And in
Yeah,
addition to Stadia Source, because I wanted to gain a little bit more of notoriety into the community. So I wanted to take a sort of journalistic approach and start writing for this website. I reached out to Lee, which is Rito Baggins on Twitter, and he actually made me do a trial. So I had to write 3 practice articles all about Stadia, and him and Dan, which is XI on Twitter, they judged my articles, and they brought me into the Slack. They said, you're good to go. We'll have you as a writer. So I got into all that. People like the Speak Sounds of Stadia. Those guys are all from Stadia Source and do the podcast there. There was Scarlett, who created the custom Skylanders
right. Yeah, I
character
remember
for the
that.
Stadia.
That was so
Yeah.
cool.
I wonder what's going to happen to that. Is it going to be put into the
It's gonna be in
game
the game.
still?
Yeah, I think they mentioned on Twitter they released some like a goodbye Stadia trailer today,
Yeah.
which included that one as a with the Stadia logo on a rock within the game. So I think I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in the game. Um,
So it's a lot of that culmination, and then getting a computer and turning it on, and starting to do some live streaming was probably my next step, and that happened very late. It was probably about May when I started to do some game streaming because I had the ability, and that really took off for me until Stadia decided to close down like a month or 2 later. So. We had to find a different direction, a new audience. Obviously, we were thriving in our Stadia tribe, and now we're in this big ocean of players. So it's a different world, but
yeah,
it was a great journey, and a lot of cool people on the way. And yeah, I wouldn't change anything except the closing of Stadia.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
Martinez,
think
what about
mine was kind of weird too, and I think probably like a lot of people who are kind of just starting. I don't know if I'd necessarily call myself a content creator, although I have created content, but it kind of
Yeah,
was
it's more,
all.
more your son, isn't it? Like
You're right.
this guy is
Um,
content created. There's
it's
no
it's
doubt about
basically,
it.
yeah, it's my son, and a lot of it actually was from Stadia, so it kind of got a interesting start you know, like most kids, he, you know, would watch YouTube, you know, seeing, you know, other YouTube kids have their channels and stuff, and he always would, you know, want to have his own. He started like, you know, pretending to do YouTube videos, you know, just no one's
Yeah,
around, you know,
my son does
in
that
his,
too.
yeah, in his room, whatever. Then he'd get like one of our tablets or our phone. He'd record himself doing like a little show, and you know, so I was really trying to hold it back for a long time, and then basically what kind of pushed that whole thing is, you know, the, you know, I guess when me and my son both really got into Stadia. So the very first kind of thing that kind of got us more involved was that we got the Wasabi controller in a giveaway, right? So we won that, and from Jack, and so that was like so amazing. And anyways, I knew Hezekiah wanted his own controller so bad. He wanted the green one, and it was cool because, you know, the giveaway was, you know, pick your own color situation. So I knew he was gonna freak out, so I recorded it. And I put it on Twitter, you know, just as a thank you to Jack and everything like that. And then it just got picked up by the Stadia community. A couple of people like within Google Stadia messaged me and said, "Oh, we love seeing people with our products and blah blah blah." Which I was like, "What
So
the heck?
cool.
What company does that? You know, just like random people within the company saying like, this is cool. We love it. We love seeing other people loving it." And then from there, it was. We actually, I think the first one was, I'm trying to think now which one came first, but basically I'll say it because I don't remember which one came first. But um, on one of Rock's shows, he actually Hezekiah actually got a shout out in Ray's praise as well. So it was along with Proper's Place, which you love that guy. He's amazing. He actually was the one getting Ray's praise. But then right at the end of it, Ray just threw in Hezekiah's video and kind of gave him a shout out and everything, which was super cool. Because I was by that time I was already all in on the Stadia community, you know, watching a bunch of people and involved in chat and everything. And then after that, John was like, "Oh man, that video is so cute and everything," and he was like, "Would Hezekiah like to be on the show?" And we'd interview him and stuff, and I was just like, "Sure, you know, like yeah." And so like it was right at that moment. I think he asked like on a Monday, and me and my wife were talking about it, and I was just like, he wants to have a YouTube so bad, and this is like perfect. It's like a perfect like beginning platform, you know, that he's finally going to be able to like tell somebody besides like his friends and family that he has a channel. So I was like, you know, we got to start it like right now. So anyways, we started it
Yeah.
that week for him, and you know, I'll say that because of everything going on with Twitch and YouTube right now. It's my channel, and my son is sometimes on it.
Yeah.
It's not his channel because he's
For
only
legal
6.
reasons.
Right, for legal reasons. But yeah, it's all to everybody. You know, it's his. You know, and I'm helping him with it. He comes up with all the ideas and everything, and so yeah, he loved it. Ninja wasn't on that episode with John, but Vivi was. And so this just adding to the whole Stadia like love and community and stuff. Vivi's like, you know, like, oh, I want to buy him. I want to buy him any game that he wants. And so I
Oh,
was like,
that's so
what
cool.
the heck? And so, anyways, like it just kind of like, you know, the ball just kept rolling with Stadia, and so it took a little while to kind of like get everything I needed for streaming. And so what we started first doing is I was just using my phone, and I was recording Hezekiah doing like some unboxings, some tech unboxings. He wanted to do like giveaways because people had already been so amazing for him, right? So he's doing
Yeah.
like some giveaway videos, and then, you know, even before we found out about Stadia closing, Joe, which I don't know if he's still in the chat, but then Joe sent Hezekiah a whole setup for streaming, a camera and a 4K capture card and a light and all that stuff. And so I'm
Wow.
just like,
Sweet.
man, it's just like, man, the love in
That's
the Stadia
amazing.
community for
Yeah.
especially my son is just like,
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I think
unmatched.
Hezekiah kind of became. I mean, I know he's your son, but he kind of became the whole community son in a way.
Yeah.
Like I think everyone in the community just like Hezekiah's all of it. Like he's our kid. Like
Yeah.
he's the steady community's kid. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's how we kind of got into it. So we finally started like streaming onto Twitch and stuff like that. So he's mostly streaming live on Twitch. We're gonna be doing most of like the VOD stuff on YouTube for now. Because like right away, I can't remember where I've said this if you guys heard it, but kind of right away, our first stream on YouTube got taken down
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
wasn't
you're right.
fully visible on the screen with him.
Yeah, you're not allowed to
So
have
there,
only the
yeah.
kid.
So
Yeah, I've
it was
seen that
like,
happen.
yeah.
I think I was in that
That's
stream. I
crazy.
think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, maybe you were.
Ah.
Yeah, so I was like, dang, because at first I was like, what happened? Was it me? I'm not like huge into knowing all this stuff already. So I was like, maybe I messed something up. And then I got that email. It's like, you can't have like an underage kid all by themselves. And so they banned me for like at least a week. And so I was like, man, I really want to be doing these streams and stuff. And so I just started a Twitch account and we started going over there. And I was like, well, I
Twitch
guess we
don't
can.
care. They have no idea.
Yeah, it's like they don't care.
Wait,
But
yeah, and I mean,
so
to be fair, I think like it's a reasonable rule for YouTube to have, but it's
Right.
like maybe you should be able to appeal it and be like, yeah, so okay, so now we know. Can we get like back on there? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, it's reasonable, but at the same time, I get it. It sucks when that happens.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think the other thing, like for me personally, is I think because of all of that and because of Hezekiah, it kind of got me and my buddies to be like, hey, SPG.
Whoa.
It got me into being like, I can do this too. We had always wanted to do a Star Wars podcast. And so it kind of just gave me the motivation to like jump into that. So, we've been doing that. And also some of these awesome communities have invited me on to guest, Purple, had me on, and some other people in the gaming space, Carpool Gaming. And so, yeah, I was just like, I'm already basically doing it, so I just
Why not
gotta
go
go,
for it? Yeah.
gotta go all the
If
way.
my kid can do it, so can I. Damn it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. SPG.
Yeah.
How did you get? I don't think I've never. First of all, hi, welcome. How did you get into content creation? I don't think I've ever heard that story.
How did I get into content creation?
Yeah.
Well,
Was this through
I-
Stadia or
Yeah,
you did it before as well?
I loved Stadia and thought it was compelling right off the bat, but there was absolutely nowhere to get content that didn't seem to be full of lies and BS. So I was full-fledged ready to go in and do like what your boy Twiz did for a little bit, or what Sonny ended up doing. And quickly people filled that void. But I was gearing up for it. SPG's name was created for that. But I ended up, people filled that void, so I didn't have to do that, and or didn't feel compelled to do it. There was places for me to go for that content. And then I met Ray Sherrod, and in one of his streams, I said, I thought our sense of humor was very similar. So I thought, hey, why don't you check out this video? It's really funny. It was horse crashes from Red Dead. And Ray stopped his stream and was like, hey, everybody, go check out Stadia Pro Gaming and his content. You need to do it. He's a content creator. And I was like, I got one video up, dude. So I started
Now you have
making
pressure
content.
to make more. Yeah.
Yeah, it worked.
Yep.
It worked.
So like what I'm hearing is here, we have
Into
like,
the
there's
abyss.
there's a common theme here, and like that theme is to an extent Ray.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had made content before I like even learned about Ray in a sense. I think I'm it's like the name, like the channel name was created when I got some friends of mine were like I was talking to them and they were like, yeah, it would be fun to try streaming someday. And like I made videos in my teens as like I studied filmmaking in high school, and I was like never did anything with it. And then someone's like, yeah, dude, you should make you should try streaming. A friend of mine said, and then they eventually gave me a game and said, hey, here's a game, stream this. I think it was called. I don't remember what it was, like Diaper Dash. So it was basically one of those like. There was like, here's a preschool with like babies in like that has to be taken care of, like run back and forth, like Overcooked but with babies, and it was a horrible game. It was mostly I streamed it as a joke thing, and then I was like, okay, that was kind of fun, and then that's when I made the channel. Then I didn't do anything for like a year or two. Made another stream for something else that was fun, and then didn't do anything again for a year. And then Stadia came, and I think Stadia's had been out for like 6 months, and I was like, I'm gonna do a review video, and I made that video, posted that. It got quite a lot of views for someone for like someone's first video, and then I just kept at it whenever I had time to do it, and then I think eventually. Like I found out about Ray and the crew and Rokk and the gang. And then at some point, I've also been shouted out by Ray on Ray's praise.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like
so-
a good raise praise. If you
Yeah,
haven't
there's nothing
had
like
one,
good
you
raise
should
praise.
try it.
And he's a big heart of our community, man. Regardless
Yeah,
of it's
yeah.
Stadia, PC, G. I mean, he plays everywhere. He's got no
Yeah.
ill will in his heart for any platform, and he's very inviting. So definitely go check
Yeah.
out Ray 3473, the
Definitely.
gaming cyborg. He's
Ray's
amazing.
praise, everybody. There we have it.
Yeah, today
I don't have the jingle available,
You know-
unfortunately, but otherwise.
You know what I've been doing today? I shared a screen with you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Let's edit and then.
Guess what that is? That is a benchmark for the 4080 tier on the GeForce Now. So
Nice.
this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is a very tough game to run and to get the frames out of it. Okay, well, this gave you a average of about 106 frames. That's 4K maxed out settings on the 4080 tier in the cloud. It's not that; it's the ultimate
That's
now.
crazy.
But there's one. Let me bring up Discord here for just a moment. And oh no. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. So
There we
here's another one. Here's Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
which is another extremely tough game to run. Now, if you
Nice.
look, it got 113 frames per second. Let's see. It's 4K. There is DLSS is enabled. So without DLSS, you're looking at about 65 to 70, but it'll jump around. You might go as low as like 48 or 52 in like a super like complex scene with a bunch of cars or a bunch of particle effects. But the standard is about 65 frames without DLSS. With DLSS, you're at 113 frames. And that was auto, DLSS auto. Let me bring up another one here. Bam! And you can see it's the GeForce RTX 4080. This here is 68 frames. This is with DLSS off and no RTX on. Now,
That's
an interesting thing is I don't have the photo off the benchmark, but if you benchmark with RTX on, max ray tracing, and you put it at ultra performance, you can get like over 100 frames per second with our RTX on as well, even all the way up around 80 really, but it'll jump up to about 100 and then come back down.
That's
and
crazy.
that is super impressive with max ray
Yeah.
tracing settings.
Very.
On.
Very.
It really
Yeah,
is.
that's
As
cool.
soon as you turn RTX on, you cripple your frame rate in about half. So all these
Yeah.
things are looking. I just wanted to jump in real quick and share that with everybody that I've been doing some testing behind the scenes, and all the testing is looking super good for you to get the exact performance you should from a 4080 within the cloud.
so basically
sadly-
the same performance you paid. How much did you pay for your graphics card?
You're making me hurt. Ouch. Yeah, I paid a whole bunch for my 4090, but
Yeah, but you have a
now-
low. That's kind of
yes, now that's not saying that it's all roses either.
no.
Still got all his fingers.
I'm
Only
missing
one
a
liver, though,
kidney. I didn't tell them. They didn't want fingers. They wanted a kidney. But yeah, so there is something weird going on with VRAM and VRAM usage. But I'm not connected with him directly, so I can't ask questions directly. But that's one I'd have for him. How does a 4080 have 24 gigs of VRAM? Nobody
Yeah.
can buy a 4080 with 24 gigs. And
Send me a
the
send me
VRAM
the-
doesn't like when you're adjusting stuff on your rig at home, you slowly fill up that VRAM. It gets to around 10 gig, maxing stuff out, and this seems to be at like 5. It's kind of weird, but that performance is amazing though, and I think a lot of people have a lot of excitement moving forward because how I had to access, I was having a 3090 until I changed my region from auto to the Midwest or the California West Coast West. And once I did that, I had my 4080. Now I had a larger ping because I selected California,
Yeah, of
but
course.
I didn't care about the ping. I wanted to do some benchmarking. So,
Yeah.
and with RTX on and off, it looks amazing. And yeah, you're actually getting some very good performance. So
Yeah.
awesome
But
on
yeah,
GeForce
you
now.
can drop me DM with those questions later, and I can forward them to the GFN team and see what
Awesome.
they see.
That'd be
I've
Yeah, and
tried.
I love that you can just, I love that it has like a similar interface, right? Because when you're playing at your PC at home, you obviously are going to change that stuff around depending on what you're playing. If you're playing a shooter, you obviously want those, you want the FPS. But if you're playing a single player game, you want it to look as good as possible, and it's fine to be 60.
Yes.
So yeah, I love that they still give you that same opportunity to play the way you want to play.
Yeah, and to bring up that when you mentioned 60, I hadn't touched GeForce Now for an extremely long time on the Samsung Gaming Hub because when it first rolled out, it was only 1080, and that wasn't very compelling to me considering that Stadia would do 1440p upscaled to 4K. So it wasn't very compelling to me, but I just turned it on again to see if I could get 4K 120, and I can't, but I can get 4K 60.
Okay.
With HDR and all that stuff. So super, super cool.
Yeah.
So what that means is, for me, at least for now, any game that, like Cyberpunk as an example, with ray tracing on, without DLSS, I could put it to quality, and I could lock the game to 60 with ray tracing on and have a great experience. So I'm super, super excited for that. It's gonna be super exciting for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So yeah, I mean, GFN is the new Ultimate Tier is it's impressive, and I like. I agree. I agree with Rokk here as well. It's not great to see the real background with him.
Oh yeah,
I think I've never
it's a
seen-
mess. Yeah, I'm still working on it. I'm removing this door, and I gotta.
This is a mess. That's
I thought yours is gonna be like Phil Spencer, like you're giving us a hint somewhere back there. Something's coming up.
yeah.
Like you see something on the
new
shelf.
there? But yeah, guys. So guys, I kind of want to poke your brains. Which game would you say was the biggest surprise as a like? Which game was that you played thanks to Stadia? Let's make it even more limited. Which pro game surprised you the most?
Ooh.
Well, you have to think of that. I
Moonlighter.
First with sorry, Moonlighter.
I have a couple.
Moonlighter
Yeah,
was
that was
a
a good one.
game that I thought I was never going to get into. I was never going to get sucked into, but it just drew me in every day, day after day, until I completed it. It was this crazy little top-down. Half of the game was dungeon crawler, half of the game was shopkeeping. And it's crazy the addictive formula that they created. But when that popped on to Pro, I didn't even know the game existed. It came out originally in 2018. We got it in like 2021. But I never turned it off until I completed it. It was a lot of fun for me. So that game sticks out in my memory as a fun pro title.
West of Loathing for me, and the SteamWorld games. I think they were very underrated, and I
big call.
Yeah,
really
SteamWorld Dig 2 was great. I played that with the son. It was so perfect.
I loved those very, very much. But West of Loathing is a stick figure game. Like the most animation is your stick legs, like walking and stuff. But it was so funny, and it had RPG mechanics that I respected. So I was down for it, man.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that surprised me the most.
I think one that I really like that, once again, I don't know if it would have been a game I would have picked up and bought, but after like getting into it, starting it, I immediately was like sucked in and like loved it. One of the, a completion on Stadia was the Deliver Us the Moon. That game was just so good. Like from the beginning, like I was just like, even when you're like trying to connect, right? Like you're in space and you're like trying to connect. the little shuttle or whatever to the little station or whatever it was, and like I failed a couple of times. I'm like, at first I was just like kind of like, man, what the heck is this game? And then I was like intrigued, and then I was like hooked. I was going through trying to find like every single note, trying to like put the pieces together and figure out the story, you know, as I was going along, and it was such a blast to play.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm buying Deliver Us Mars because of it.
Yeah.
Because I got
big shout out.
Because I got to play that game on Pro and I didn't have to buy it. I'm buying the next one for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's I'm gonna buy the next SteamWorld game. Like I read, and I mean I still have such a backlog at this point, and I don't play enough to like really warrant buying more games. But that's one of those games. Like I like me and my kid, we played.
Rouster,
we
that's
played
hopefully I said your name right. That is a great shout. That was a
OMD3.
I was even on the leaderboards at first.
I think Rouster
for the big siege
holds a leaderboard title.
I used
don't
to.
think anymore, but I think he had the most
no,
orbs
technically
killed.
still
under
holds
Daz.
it. No one's ever gonna top that now. Maybe on Steam, but that's a different leaderboard. That doesn't count. Like
Daz
the route, like
yeah, I was right under him for a while, but they reset the leaderboards.
Yeah,
and
they did.
I never played again. Yeah, and I didn't play it again. Yeah, but
I bought the DLC,
cool
but I
game.
could, like, I really cool. I mean, I've always enjoyed Tower Defense, and then I was like, Tower Defense Plus, I can be in there and shoot. This is great.
I just
played
wish...
a bunch of that, and then like finished the main story, bought the DLC, played the first level of DLC, and could not finish that first level of the DLC.
I wish the only thing I wish
I'm
that
not as
game
good as
had was a infinite horde mode with an infinite build budget, so you could just build and then just like watch and move the camera around and watch all the orcs die and how that that would have been amazing.
Fill it up until the server crashes. That's
right. That's right.
I wasn't good at it, but I liked it.
Yeah, same here. I thought I was good at it. Turns out I wasn't.
Another really good one too is Journey to a Savage Planet.
My favorite.
That one too.
That
was
favorite
such a
game.
Yeah, it was so good. And like there's so many like side things that you can do. I love just even like being on your ship at the beginning. You can go and watch all those hilarious commercials and like the videos from your boss, you know, back on Earth and stuff like that. It's just it's just such a fun game to play, to explore, but it's just funny too. Like you can't play that game without laughing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest pro surprise for me was probably Rogue Book.
I did not expect to get sucked into that game because I'm not normally into deck builders.
I'm normally into them. It's just I had just came off a 2-month-long addiction to Slay the Spire. Like I was I was in the boat with like, all right, I'm finally put down Slay the Spire. I'm done with deck builder games for a while now. I'm not gonna play more deck builders. And then Rogue Book came out, and I was like, I had a weekend or a week to myself at home. I was like, I was working in the day, and then during the night, I was just streaming every night or making videos. And then it was like, I kind of want to like do a stream of a City Pro game, but didn't really like. I guess Rogue Book is the one that seems the most intriguing to me this month, but I mean, I'm not really in the mood for it still. And then I played it on stream and was like. The second I closed the stream, I was like, I'm going to go to bed now, and I'm going to bring my Stadia controller. I'm going to play in bed. And I stayed up for 3 hours when I shouldn't have and played Rogue Book still, and then I just kept going.
Speaking of your Stadia controller, how many of you guys updated yours to Bluetooth?
All 3 of them right away.
Yeah.
and then used them to play Stadia on my TV.
See, I have like behind me. I've got some I got Darth Vader heads and like a Boba Fett, and I got some stuff I'm gonna put back there. But one of them is gonna be hold on, I'm gonna go actually grab mine. Mine looks like your stormtrooper back there, Martinez. Here, I'll show you.
Nice.
Hold on. But I have a Premier Edition, and I was gonna put back there.
Yeah, this one's got Luna right now, but.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'd rather have the controller
below.
than the Premier Edition.
wow.
You know what I mean? Like have it in the plastic as a keepsake. I think I'd rather open it and use that controller, to be honest. But this is the Darth.
Nice.
Yeah. So I got a Boba Fett, a C-3PO, a Stormtrooper,
and a Stadia controller.
I'm gonna put some back there, but I have a Premier Edition, like I said, that's sealed. I was gonna put back there, but
yeah,
I don't know. I might open it. just set the box there. And, take
Yeah,
that
I still
controller
have
out.
one sealed Premier Edition, and I'm kind of like on the same thing. I'll see if someone ends up wanting it in the family or something like that. But yeah, I
It's a great
updated my
controller, so-
Wasabi one, but I still need to my other Premier Edition. I need to update that one. But yeah, I just right away I was like, I want to see how easy this is, and the process and everything, and it is. It's so smooth,
was simple.
so
Yeah.
easy,
So
and like it's
easy,
one of
yeah.
those things that once again, this is a positive. We're talking about all the good stuff, but I was like, why did they just do this right away? Like, come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Well, get
Coulda
this.
gave it to
No,
us.
I panicked, man. So I had the wrong idea in my head all night long. I set it up and I did it, and I was like, all right, man, let me turn on Battlefield 2042 and check this out. I had to wait for an update. It finally finished, and I get in the game and all the controls are messed up, and I'm like, oh, must be a different protocol. Something's not right. I could have dialed it all in, but I was like, nah. So I go out to my Samsung TV and I hook it up to the gaming hub. Wreckfest worked. All the Xbox games worked. I was like, okay, cool. So the next morning, I'm like, hey, Ray. I was like, I don't think it's going to work for Xbox through the PC. I was like, but I got it to work through my Samsung. He was like, did you play Battlefield? I said, yeah. He goes, right after that update, it broke all the controls. They patched it, and then it worked again. And I was like, so I thought it was the Stadia controller. No, it was their patch.
Yeah. I also noticed having
which they have
Steam
fixed.
running, and then playing things on xCloud is through the Xbox app, not through the browser, but the app. That can really mess with your because that for some reason, at least by default for me, mapped the and this happened even before the update, even when I just used wired. It maps the right stick to the mouse. Through Steam does this by default.
Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
sitting there playing like,
Same for me.
why is my mouse cursor moving around the screen when I'm trying to move the camera? It's because it's also moving the camera, because like the app is getting the input from the controller and the input from Steam, so it's got like dual input. And like, why am I shooting twice when I shoot? It was like it took me. I played 3 sessions with my friend to realize this was the issue. So yeah, I felt stupid then. But it really is one of the best controllers I've used, to be honest. Like,
So
the
I'm a
only
bit
one I
of a
would say
different
better-
mindset. I actually kept all my controllers, and I will not be updating them. I am against the Bluetooth update. I will be
are.
keeping them as Wi-Fi controllers.
He doesn't want to taint them.
I don't want to lose that, and I'm going to keep them as relics. I mean, for me, myself, when I game, I need the back paddles now. I'm too used to the Elite controllers. I mean, that's the good life for me when I game. So I'm never going to really use these Stadia controllers.
Yeah, if you're never
again.
gonna use them, I get it.
I'm actually
yeah.
surprised that Stadia didn't add one last update to their Wi-Fi servers, to where you connect it up one last time and it updates it to Bluetooth no matter what. Sorry, Rudy.
Oh, yeah.
I think they should have done that. But I mean, it was easy enough. It was easy enough.
Hey,
But-
they might still.
I mean, the community
mean-
is already trying to rip the everything, all the software that you need to do it offline, and like.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
People-
so far it's like you can do it online, and it's through the service, and after, like when 2023 ends, you won't be able to do it anymore. But within this time, I'm confident that the community will manage to scrape that and make an offline thing you can use forever.
Well, one of the
Oh,
reasons I'm
shoot.
excited that I can use all of the Stadia controllers wirelessly now through Bluetooth is because not all controllers are created equal. I've yet to break one Stadia controller. I mean, crunch a button and have it not pop up and work again. And I gorilla grip controllers.
Yeah.
I do. I destroy them. And this one is held up. This Xbox one is held up, but it sounds like a Clydesdale horse clopping down the road when you're playing, especially a shooter, or like Days Gone when you're getting surrounded by a horde
when
of
it
zombies.
vibrates or something.
Yeah, yeah. It just clickety clack clack clack, and
Yeah.
a couple of these Stadia ones are silent. A couple of them are
Yeah.
loud. My Founders one is loud like a horse.
Yeah, the clicks
but
are loud.
One of the white ones aren't very loud though.
Yeah.
So
You know,
But
like
it's one
that
of
you bring
those-
that up. I think one thing, like for Xbox controllers, right? This part, kind of right here at the bottom. I don't know, like I am really OCD about things, and if you slide your finger across it, it's kind of sharp. Like you can feel like a point on every single Xbox controller that I have, right? And like the Stadia one is smooth. It's butter smooth, and that's why I loved it. It's
It's
like
such a-
it
yeah,
yeah,
just
it's
I
feels
feel
so
those
good.
sharp. Yeah, I feel those sharp angles, bro. I
Yeah.
do.
It's
Wow.
weird, right? Like, come
Yeah,
on,
it is.
like,
I never
Well, the
felt that before.
design work that went into that Stadia controller was unmatched. I think they had 16 iterations. I watched a video where they based it off of a butcher's knife, sort
Wow.
of the handle of like pro
Yeah,
chef
I've seen that too. Yeah,
tools and
it's
stuff, so
so
they could
cool.
manipulate it any way. They watched players play. They had all these clay moldings. So it was a heavily designed controller.
Yeah,
Has
and it
anyone ever
shows.
tried the NVIDIA Shield controller, the one that goes with the Pro, like their designed controller?
I
I've
have.
I
had
tried
I've had
the one
14
before
of them.
that. The
I've
one,
had
the one they
14.
made for the
14
one
of
that
them, you said?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Now a lot of them
Uh,
was exchanges though, because I'd break them within 2 hours, and I'm like, no, that's got to be a defect. No, I would break these things, man, within a few hours. Within a few hours, definitely you'd get analog drift, and then within another day, a button is crunched. I don't know how they build them out of
I mean,
feathers and
before,
Nerf.
before that
I don't know.
one, they had a Wi-Fi Direct version that came with the Shield tablet.
Oh,
I have one of those. I lent it out to to my sister-in-law, or sister-in-law to be. I think that proposal is coming any day now. So I lent it out to her, but that one was great. It was a bit clunky. It was I think the new one is like half the weight or something. But it was a decent controller, but only worked
Well, I liked
with.
it. I like
Yeah,
the
I mean, I like that
angular
one.
design. Like it had a weird.
That one, that one didn't have that angular design.
Okay. Those
So,
are the
yeah.
ones I had. Were like the updated
Yeah.
version of that.
But
or
like
whatever.
honestly, for me, like one of the reasons I updated mine right away was the fact that we do have 3 DualShock 4s, but they are like my kids have over the years that they've been playing Cars 3 and Paw Patrol on the PlayStation, they managed to like scrape off the rubber on the sticks. Somehow.
Wow.
And I think part of it is just wear and tear.
Yeah,
'Cause
just
we have
down.
had them for a long time. So like and I mean they are used regularly on the PS4. So it's a matter of like if I want to play on the big TV, now the state is gone. It's like you go. I have to take it out. I have to like manually pair it through Bluetooth, and then whenever it's back to the PlayStation, back connected to the PlayStation. It's like it's just adds so many steps to playing on the TV, especially now with I'm using more and more GFN and XCloud for that matter. So to the point where I would like, do I really want to like bother with that, or should I skip gaming altogether tonight? So now like I have 3 dedicated, like these are for the TV. They're never going to be used for anything else. The Stadia controllers are now my TV controllers, and especially because like I was holding out buying It Takes Two because I had this like eventually it might come to Stadia, and then because that's what I want to play it. Because me and my wife decided when we saw the first trailer, like this is something we're gonna play together.
Well,
we still haven't done it.
one other thing I'm excited about is that you can plug in and charge this damn controller while you're playing with it again, but in Bluetooth
Oh right,
mode.
you did that
So-
before. I
mean-
couldn't you do that before?
Well, no. You could with Stadia, yes.
Yeah.
You could keep playing and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like my Xbox controller, if I switch over and try to plug it in, this isn't rechargeable, and it deactivates. Like it didn't work the same. Damn it! Now I can use it the exact same way,
Yeah, nice.
but with the hub. So excited for that.
Yeah, no, but it's one of those like now that EA has switched to the EA app. If you have Game Pass Ultimate, you have EA Play on the EA app. So nowadays, like if you have Game Pass Ultimate, you can now play EA games on GFN with that subscription, which is great because that means I now have It Takes Two, like included.
That's cool.
So now my plan is to use the Xbox Game Pass subscription of EA Play to play It Takes Two on the TV through GeForce Now with a Stadia controller.
So if you
Nice.
sign into your EA app, then does that show you all the like you have access to like you're paying for their service, but you're not?
Yeah. So
'Cause
like
it's rolled into
you connect.
Xbox?
Yeah, you connect your EA account to your Microsoft account, and then you log in with that same EA account to on GFN. You can play that game. Then
that's
it
awesome.
counts as if you own that game. So for the games that are still through the Origin launcher, it doesn't work yet. It has to be through the EA app, but they're rolling everything out over to the EA app because Origin is shutting down. So yeah, it's great.
Yep, there it is. Play or Play with Game Pass. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to get access to a bunch of games,
Like
if you
Star
have
Wars games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Star Wars games. That was on Pro, for example. That one. I need to play that one. I played it for like 5 minutes. Like, this is so cool. I want to really get into this when I have the time, and then I never played it again. That was 1.5 years ago now. Yeah, I have a problem. Yeah, so obviously, best. Do you have any favorite non-pro game that you discovered through Stadia?
Oh yes, BG3 baby. Very easy statement there. Yep.
Yep, I agree.
For
BG3,
not
period.
even being done. Yeah, for not even being out yet. I'd have to say BG3.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of games that will always be like regarded as like I will always call them my favorite games of all time, because they are. But at the same time, I like BG3 better than all of those. BG,
Well,
and it's not like
I
it's
just
not even
like that
done,
it was
and it's
an
my game
exclusive.
of all time.
It was the only way to play it other than Steam.
Yeah,
It was
and
basically a Stadia
kind of still
exclusive.
is. I know it's available through Boostroid, so I now it's like, damn it, I need to buy it again.
I do.
So,
I do too. But I put so many hundreds
But
of
I'm gonna wait
hours
for the full
into it. I'm waiting for the full release for sure.
yeah, I've played a lot of it. I love it, but I'm gonna wait for the full release, and then I'm jumping back in, and
And I'm buying it and disappearing for a month.
Yep, I'm gonna take it. I think that might be the first time I take time off work to play games. He's always been like, if I take time off work, it feels wrong to not use that time to spend spend it with the family.
Yeah.
And I know my family agrees with that. But I think that might be one of those, like, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take like a week off and play games pretty much all day. So yeah. And by the way, I can see Rokk and Martin talking about this in chat. But if you're watching and you want to join into the discussion, click the link that's tagged in that's marked in chat, and you can just join in, as these guys have. Some of these guys have. Some of these I managed to get a hold of before the show. So yeah, it's open mic. Just jump in. We're just chatting about
I would say that
I did. I'm actually gonna jump out, but I wanted to pop in and
jump out whenever you want. We're just chatting Stadia for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Ooh, well, I jumped in at the wrong moment and started talking GFN. Sorry about that, but
No,
I just
don't
wanted to let you know what I was up to.
No, it was great content. No worries.
And
Yeah, that was
all
awesome.
of you guys should be excited.
Yeah.
So, but all right, guys, I will see you
Yeah.
guys later.
See you later.
Peace out.
I was gonna say that Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice was an
yeah.
absolutely transformative game for me. I got it day one because who wouldn't want to play a samurai with a metal arm who had a grappling hook? And
When you put it like that.
exactly,
It's a beautiful game, though.
and I started playing it day one as soon as I got it, so excited, and then utterly crushed and disappointed at the fact that I could not move forward in that game. It took me a year and a half before I had booted it back up. Luckily, I had a friend in my ear, and I went through the entire game. I had the most amazing experience on Stadia. It became one of my absolute favorite games. It pushed me to be a better gamer. That's how good this
Yeah.
game was. I yelled out, screamed in excitement anytime I won. I got one of my most watched videos on the final boss fight because of Stadia. It was just an epic experience gaming with friends, streaming a game really for the first time. I really enjoyed my experience with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and now I got to buy it again. And just because I
Yeah.
love it, I've beaten it, but it's a game I just have to get again
Yeah.
as one of my all-time favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
far,
I just-
do you have any?
Yeah, I think for me the big one was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I think kind of multiple reasons, but one, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, always have been. I got my wife into it as soon as like we started dating. So then, I got her into it. First, she was like, I don't like this and stuff. After like the first season, she like started caring about the characters, etc. And then, like, obviously having kids, we can kind of direct a little bit of their attention on certain things, to make them like it.
Yeah,
But yeah, he ended up getting into Dragon Ball Z too. So yeah, it was so fun to play through that. The stories were great. They added stuff that's obviously not in the show. So little side stuff is really cool. So anybody who's like a big fan, seen all the stuff, it's really cool to kind of go through stuff that's familiar, but also get to see like different dialogues and different like little situations that happen throughout the game that is really cool. So yeah, that was definitely a blast of a game.
yeah. I think I bought that one and never played. Got around to playing it.
Well, you got refunded.
Yeah, I did. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say too in the chat, I can't see, said I do like the grip of the Xbox Series controllers though, and yeah, I do agree with that. That's my only like nitpick with it, and it's just because I'm like, I don't know, I'm really OCD about weird things, but the very bottom that it's kind of like has those like unfinished to me like kind of edges that's kind of like sharp and come to a point is the only thing I don't like about it. Besides that, I love the feel of it. Even when I play on PC, like if I'm playing like Jedi Fallen Order, games like that feel better on a controller. Like I will use an Xbox controller. I love the grip that they added to the series controllers. It does feel great.
Yeah. Lo-Fi, what was the biggest surprise of the non-pro games for you?
Well, I mean, we did talk about Journey to Savage Planet, but there was so many indie games out there that were so awesome, like Jotun, Spirit Fair.
Yeah.
Like there, so many of them really. Like Welcome to Elk. Like there was all these little individual experiences that you could have, and yeah, it was amazing. Just the curation that they did with the library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there he is. I was just gonna talk about Cowboy because I was gonna say that I know Cowboy is against this, but what I like about things like Game Pass and what I liked about Stadia is I actually did play some games I would have never played before. So yes, I did spend time on stuff I wasn't super excited or interested in, but then I did end up having a good time. So I think that is kind of something with like Stadia Pro. I ended up playing some games either myself or with my son that I would have never played, and like even after playing it, I still wouldn't have bought. But since it came with it, I was like, hey, like not bad.
I'm not against it. I just think that should be for me, that's a bonus. And I know some people made it like that was the main thing. So for me, I was like, that I'm more specific, right? Hey, I want to play this versus, well, whatever comes on there. So that was my thing. But you got to ask what game impressed you or whatever or was a surprise. Wavetail, man. I was in love with Wavetail. That was my game. And that game, and that was a game I never heard of. So that was, that was my favorite indie game. And it's sad because I never got to beat it. I was like, yeah, I got to beat it. And then I canceled my Stadia Pro. And when I went to get it, before I got to get it again, they ended it. But my wife beat it. So I feel like I was living in her, that counts.
Yeah, that counts. Big time.
Yeah, for sure.
Could I answer the recent question? You guys were talking about what game on Stadia, was your that game. For me, I want to say Marvel Avengers, but it was definitely Doom Eternal. Man. Doom Eternal was flawless. Doom Eternal. It really that came out I think in either February or March of 2020. And so Stadia was only out for a few months when you think of it coming out in November 19th, right? So when that came out,
it was supposed to be a launch title, I think, right?
Yeah,
they pushed it.
But so it proved to me that Stadia was amazing. That game cemented Stadia for me. That game has so many enemies on the screen. It's fast paced. It you want to test something, that game. That's your test right there.
That's the benchmark.
That's true. Yeah.
That's what I would always use to show my friends like Stadia. I would always use Doom.
Yeah, you get in like
Yeah,
in
man.
Doom, you get in like some of those outside environments. So you have like all the outside plus all the enemies, you know, and the actions and stuff like that. Yeah, like
The
that can make
glory
a
Yeah.
lot. That can make a lot of computers, you know, slog. So yeah,
Yeah,
big time.
sure. Happy. Thank you for
Hello.
hello and then hey, so we say
Hey, hey.
Hey,
up in the Nordics.
Yes.
My fellow Viking. How you doing?
Yeah. Sorry.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm just got home from a little party, so yeah, that's where I am. But really, I just have to say, I'm really sad that Stadia has closed. I was thinking about it. Oh, I'm gonna jump into a game. You can't. So yeah, it is
Yeah.
really really sad because I really love to play Stadia on my laptop with mouse and keyboard when I was not on my Xbox or on my PlayStation, Nintendo. I was sitting around with Stadia playing that. And actually, I played a lot of Stadia. This was like most of my time where I couldn't be in my gaming room. I had my laptop in front of me playing on Stadia. So it was a great option for
Yeah.
playing
So,
for me.
which was your favorite city game then?
I actually played a lot of the games that is on other consoles like Cyberpunk and the Metro Exodus. That was the two games I played the most of them. I really enjoy these kind of games. So I was more. I am a AAA gamer, so I really
Yeah.
enjoy those games.
woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
so-
just to interject real quick. Yeah. So some of you guys all know me and my family all have COVID. So my wife's been like holding down the fort with the kids, but she needs some help. So I'm gonna bounce.
I know
But
it.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me on. Such a blessing always to be with all of you guys. Thanks, Cowboy. Thanks for Happy jumping in right at the last minute. I
Yeah,
love
man.
sharing the screen with
Hey.
amazing content creators like you.
Hey, man, could I just say thanks for your son? Hey, listen, I was in the chat like, dude, your kids, man, you made a little video for me. That was cool,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that
he's-
was awesome. So,
Hezekiah is all it's the whole community's kid.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah,
what we
man.
want to take away from.
Yeah, no, the Cowboy's like way too epic. You know, you can't watch one of those videos without copying something he says or does. And like my
Dude.
kids, like they'll just be walking around saying something the Cowboy does. So
that blew me away, man. I appreciate it. You allowed me to make it into a video, so thank you so much
Yeah.
for that.
yeah,
Oh,
for
that's
sure,
awesome.
bro. Yeah, but all right,
Yeah,
thanks everybody.
yeah,
May the
and,
force be with
still-
you.
If we're still going while you're done with
Peace
the
out,
game,
Martinez.
feel free to jump
Okay.
in.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry,
Thank
guys.
you
I
for
have to
that.
run again because my
I know, no
dog
worries.
is barking. So
Let's take it away.
sorry, but
Yeah,
I
join
just
us,
wanted to jump in and
and,
say that I really, really sad that Stadia is
Yeah.
gone. That's
Yeah.
yeah. it
Thank you for
sucks.
joining. And if anyone's watching who like I can see in the chat, for example. If you wanna jump in, then just click the link that's in like pinned in chat, and you can jump into the open mic. But yeah, so obviously, what's your biggest takeaway from Stadia, having been spent 3 years with Stadia then?
Wow.
Biggest
hope.
takeaway.
The community is awesome.
Yeah.
The cloud
I think
gaming
the-
community is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's nothing. I mean, I think the Stadia community kind of like evolved into the cloud gaming community eventually. But
Yeah.
but in a way, I think
Eventually.
I don't think anyone's really like. Even if I look into like you can compare it to Steam, you can compare it to like GFN doesn't have a community like the one that Stadia had. No one really does. Like there is the fanboys of like the Xbox fanboys that like go to do their console war with the PlayStation guys and the other way around.
Yeah.
There's nothing really, and like the PC Master Race, but nothing really like the same community was, I think. And I hope we can I hope that we can continue that journey as the cloud gaming community for a while, and see where it goes.
Can I be that guy?
Yeah.
I gotta be that guy. So I don't know, man. Me personally, cloud gaming let me down, and I'm kind of not the biggest fan anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like it sent me back to the Stone Age, back to downloads.
Yeah,
for me
I kind
personally.
of think
So
that
what I
that was
wanted
my
it to
first
be,
thought with the closing of Stadia is that
Mhm.
people would have doubt in cloud gaming. But I'm kind of hoping, like, when you see what
well,
GFN's doing, they got something good going on, and I kind of hope people ask for more out of that. You know what I mean? If they got a
mhm.
good service,
I hope,
but we want more, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I know what you
And my
mean,
thing was
Cowboy.
this: it wasn't even a closing of Stadia. The thing is, it wasn't even a closing of Stadia. I kind of fell out of love with Stadia like months before it closed. Right. My
Yeah,
issue
right,
was
right.
this: is that I feel like these companies, or the lack thereof support for these companies. I give Nvidia, Google, I give every cloud, every company who's pushing cloud credit. But I think it's these developers and the other companies that don't want to support it. And so then we get these platforms, like you gotta have like every platform to try to get all the games you want. Like there's not one, like Boosteroid comes close to getting like what Happy said earlier. I'm a AAA guy. Well, me too. But to get AAA games in the cloud, or at least what you want, you gotta have like everything, and then you're still missing some
And then,
loophole.
yeah, exactly.
Even Sony
Yeah,
can't
and,
fill it.
and
Microsoft's doing the
no one
best
can have all
at
the
it.
games. I think the closest
Yeah,
you get
I'd
to
agree
having
with
all the
that
games
too.
is PC, like Steam. See, it's like Steam, Epic, and Good Old Games combined is probably the closest thing you get to having all the games, and even then you don't have all of them anyway. Um, but yeah,
Right.
it's like no platform is gonna have everything. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, you
Yeah,
can jump
but
back
I
and
mean,
forth
if
to
you
get
was the
more, but yeah.
yeah,
It's
but
hard to go.
if you did cloud, right? If you did cloud versus console, like if you made cloud of one platform, right, and you made PC and console one platform, cloud can't touch a candle
No,
to
no,
the
definitely
games,
not.
right? Because PC and console just get everything. So
That's
then
why I think
eventually
the
you're like,
best in
man,
gaming right now really is having
mhm,
an NVIDIA's graphics card and GFN, especially like if you have a lower like I have a 3060, and it's like
okay,
with that, and then having the GFN 4080 tier, I and I have Game Pass, so it's like all that
there you go.
combined. I got so much gaming going on. It's
Yeah, but then my only issue with your setup, I would be like, yo, where's my PlayStation bangers? So that would be
right.
my
That's
only
what
issue
I'm
with
missing out.
that.
I'm waiting until
I
they
mean,
open it
if
up
you
so
wait,
that I can
you
play
can find more
PS5
games
games in their
cheaper.
cloud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
wait a year.
You
No,
said
wait,
it best on Obi show. Banger after banger
The
after
banger
I
after
banger
know, I
banger
after
see it.
after
banger after
banger.
banger.
I mean,
Yeah,
PlayStation has
PlayStation is
they've
hitting
had
out
a
of the
great
park.
year, a great couple of years in a row.
They
Really,
are,
like
man.
the first party stuff is amazing, and it's one of those. At the same time, like I mean, if you're someone like me who don't have time to play like more than a few games a year anyway, like to completion.
Right.
I might have time to watch someone play God of War from back to from beginning to end. I'm not gonna have time to play it myself. Like that's just something I have to accept. So for me, it's a little more like cloud works great for me because I don't have to put down the money to get a PS5 or Series X or a beefy PC. I can sit back and still enjoy a lot of gaming. Like I can probably find close to like 600 games that I can play in the cloud right now, through the different services that I have, and like that combined with then watching the games that I don't have time to play, that works for me. But then again, everyone is different. If you are like you are
Yeah.
and a AAA gamer, that's what you're here for. Then yeah,
Yeah,
cloud
man.
isn't gonna give you everything you want. It's gonna give you some of it.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those. But and I think even when Stadia was a thing, and when Stadia when it was going well for Stadia, I don't think they had everything. Like they were never gonna get there anyway either. I think, or maybe
Yeah, they was never gonna have it. They was
2030.
never gonna have it all. They were never gonna have it all. But I think what I like is the word potential. Right. When Stadia
Yeah.
first started, they
It
were
was
saying,
losing
listen, we're
SG&E where I was like, whoa, like we're
yeah,
now
man.
we're limited in potential, like you were saying,
Yeah,
potential.
and they were going after the big titles at first. They were like, listen, we can't get them all, but we're gonna have some bangers in there. I was like, yo, you gotta give this state, it was new. You gotta give this Stadia platform credit. And then down the road, you seen like, okay, they was really laying off. But listen, at the end of the day, I love Stadia for what it was. I'm probably gonna have a different take than everybody, but I'm kind of happy they closed it because I feel like it was hard being a Stadia fan, and everybody's always it was a laughing stock, and Google was just slipping. It was like, dude, if you're not going to treat it right, or for me, I'm a AAA guy. If you're not going to treat it like you did in the first year and a half, and just close it down for me, because then
So
it was
do you
losing
feel
my
like it was
interest.
like mismanagement?
You know what? It's crazy. I think it's all about deals. I think cloud gaming just isn't that popular, and I think it takes money to make money. And at some point, remember, United States, right? You have 3 years. The IRS tell you have 3 years for a business to be profitable, and after that, it's just a hobby, right? It's like even with my tax guy, with the business I used to do, he was like, "Look, bro, you're making a decent money, but after the 3rd year, if you're still making this amount of money, there you can't even write stuff off." So I think at the end of the day, I don't know about mismanagement. I think they was just like, yo, cloud gaming. Like, but remember, they said he wanted 1 million subscribers, right? And
In the
they
first
didn't.
year,
They
yeah.
fell short. They fell short in the first year. I think that first year,
Sorry,
it's probably ain't gonna work. And I think we all didn't know. And I think they probably was like, they closed SG&E, the biggest thing that was costing them money. And then I think they just was like, yo, it's not popular. And then Stadia had all this bad press. So everybody thought it was negative when we're like, bro, it plays amazing. I couldn't convince my friends. I'm like, I'm a content creator. I make videos. They're like, no, I watched the video and it doesn't work. I'm like, I'm your friend. I will come to your house. They don't believe me. So I don't really know if it's mismanagement. I think cloud gaming just wasn't popular. Now, what I will say is Stadia, death or not, made it more popular.
Yeah, I think they pretty much set the stage for what's to come in a sense.
Yeah, and I think Google
Yeah,
made
man.
some obvious pitfalls. I mean, one, you don't launch a brand new console with new technology without software to really reinforce what you're doing, to bring gamers in to that experience. And I think that was a massive pitfall on their end by not
That's what I'm
having
saying, there was
an
so many
exclusive
pitfalls.
for
You're
your
breaking up,
console.
just so you know.
Pardon?
Yeah, no, sorry. I was trying to send a message to Ant, but I think I might have missed
Anthony.
something.
And the one thing I'll say as a takeaway, my takeaway from Stadia is that it seems like these events that bring people together throughout history are, far and few between. And I think it was pretty amazing to just jump in with both feet and take a bath in the Stadia waters and just rep this tribe and go all out. It was a part of history, and I don't regret it. Even though I missed out on not every single experience there was on software, Stadia was more than the software. It was more than the sum of its part. And my takeaway will be this awesome community, and it'll be a loss because it'll be harder to grow the community moving forward without that Stadia beacon. And that's my takeaway.
It was the only actual cloud platform.
Yep. I remember saying, like, right, because I mean, before I started making content, I was very active on the Stadia subreddit, and I remember saying, like, even before, like, I think I even said before it launched, but also several times after, like, arguing with the people who came on there, probably to troll people in the end, but arguing with people like Stadia is the only actual cloud platform. And honestly, like the way I see it, like the next gen consoles, like the current gen consoles now, the PS5 and the Series X, they are incremental improvements over their predecessors. They're better. They technically next generation consoles. But when someone tells me like this is the next generation of something, I don't hear that and go, oh yeah, that's a bit like more power. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not what it's about. Like, I mean, I think like for example, if you take the Wii brought motion controls into every home, and then since then, I mean, because everyone wanted to have something with motion controls. In a sense, that was a next gen thing when it launched. And like the next generation is more about like how do we bring the gaming medium that we love, how does that go forward from here? Like what's the next thing in this industry? The next thing in this industry isn't just ray tracing more pretty pixels. The next thing for the next big thing for gaming, I still believe is it's like how do you like I think Jade Raymond said in an interview, like how do you we tackled things like how do you manage a game where you have 1 terabyte of assets? Like how do you develop that? How do you maintain that over time? That was the
Yeah.
sort of thing they were working on SGNE when it
Well,
launched.
you know, we're talking about our main takeaways, and I think some people feel like, Google's known for their data centers, and they feel like maybe like if cloud couldn't compete with hardware, well, then like with Google doing it, then that just goes to show cloud gaming's just not ready, period. But I personally think the takeaway here is if the right platform came at the right time and made the right moves, they could still make it. It's like there's lessons to be learned from what Google did, but I don't think it's like, I don't think it has to be like squashed. I think it works. I think a lot of us are just waiting for the next platform to pop up.
That's a horrifying thought, Rokk.
I think
scary.
I definitely agree with Lo-Fi.
Right,
I just think it's the lack of popularity with cloud gaming, but it's growing. So that's the cool thing. I will say this though, perception is key. Stadia started off and people was already like, oh, killed by Google, right? Now if you had something like Nintendo, if you had something like Nintendo or Sony, right? Because people look at Sony like, oh, it's premium, right? If Sony had everything Google had, right, but then it would be a little bit back with the support of their games, people would have thought it was a lot better than what they thought Stadia. They would have gave it a chance, but Google came out with a bad rep, so that was, they already started off, it was a little hard for people to take them serious. So that's a shame, but perception is a thing,
Yeah, no, for sure it is. And I mean, I think for me, one of the takeaways that I will take from Stadia's whole journey will be that, even though Stadia might have failed and become shut down and killed off, I still I think it kind of proved to me. I went into Stadia I argued early on during Stadia's lifetime that cloud, like Stadia and cloud, that's true next generation.
Yes.
The next gen consoles are great. They're really cool. They're more powerful, but they're not next generation of gaming. They're just better hardware. Whereas cloud, and I think Stadia, while it failed, proved it. Cloud is the next generation of gaming. Like it or not. I mean, it's not gonna be for everyone. It's never gonna be for everyone. But it's gonna be. It is the next big thing that we're gonna get. And even if it's through something like Stadia, if it's through something like, for example, like Microsoft does with the Flight Simulator, where they bring in data from the cloud to the process real life weather data through the cloud into the game, or if it's things like whatever Ubisoft Scalar turns out to be when it's eventually becomes something else. That's the that's next generation for me, and like what we can, the doors that are open with cloud, and especially that whole. Do you guys remember the talk that Aaron Hoffman John did after? I think it was after SDNE had closed actually, but when they showed off how they were scaling performance with Kubernetes. Did you guys see that one? Because that one is etched into the back of my head now. It was basically just demo. Here's a football game or soccer game. We're simulating 2 teams. There, 1 ball, 2 teams, 2 goals, and then they could just add another team, another ball, another goal, and just scale that indefinitely. And eventually, obviously, the frames per second, because they had a FPS meter on the side, that eventually hit 1 frame per second. It couldn't handle it all. At that time, there was 50 teams playing football with 100 goals, and there was also bulls charging across the screen, and it was just mental. And they were and now we turn on cloud scaling, essentially, just offloading the load into more server blades. Add 4 blades, offload this. It took think 3 seconds, and then everything solid 60 FPS. And that was a demo they built in 6 weeks, just to prove the tech. But that sort of thing, that's insane. And the demo that they did with Guild, when they took Guild, spent I thought just a few weeks on it, and now suddenly you have two blades doing local co-op to one screen on a game that's not built for local co-op in the first place. I managed to get that to work. So yeah, it was to me cloud is the next generation of gaming, and Stadia was honestly apparently too early. Like the tech is already there, we can already do all of these things. But the public wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you have
and
to
we'll get
convince them, and there's so many people that are gamers that I mean, if you're a gamer, you probably have a console, or you probably have a PC,
Yep.
like one of the two. So you
Yep.
already got to convince them that like, oh, stop, you don't need that anymore. You can do this.
yeah,
You know what
and
I mean?
think
But it doesn't have. You can do the hybrid move, but it's like
Yeah.
you still have to convince people there's value
yeah,
there.
and I think it's also like I think Stadia did. On one hand, you do need the enthusiasts to launch anything, but at the same time, I think launch like their focus on getting all of those console gamers and PC gamers to become cloud gamers that they had the initial year, or even a year and a half if you count the time before launch. That was the biggest mistake. The fact that they stood up there on GDC and while it was aimed towards developers mainly, but it was taken up by the public and say, this is how many teraflops we have. It's like, yeah. So
You know who
we don't care.
I would like to see
Like-
get into cloud gaming is Steam.
Yeah, as Rokk mentioned, like with Rock's
Maybe the
my
end of
favorite
GFN if they do that.
Yeah,
Maybe they could work together.
yeah. Either work together or I mean they already are working together in a lot of ways.
Right.
Like sure, GFN has Epic and Ubisoft and EA app and
But Valve
and
is just
good old games.
such
But
a
yeah.
behemoth in gaming.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, that one might be. But
I think a big takeaway for me with even though I'm a little backed off on cloud, it's just because of the game. So it all comes down to games to me. But I think the great thing is my takeaway is it works. It is real. Like my friends used to be like, "Oh, I just don't think cloud is ready." I was like, "Tell that to all the people I know who's only cloud gamers. Like we only play on the cloud. We've been doing it for over 2 years. So when you say it's not ready, I know people that's all they play on. So for me, I know it's real, it does work, and it's only getting better. If you listen, technology is only going to get better. Internet is only going to get better. Mobile service is only going to get better. So cloud gaming is the future. And I used to say this all the time, is the consoles isn't next gen. Next gen to me is to do something that you haven't seen before. Consoles, all they do is play things faster, load faster, and you got better visuals. But you already had that. Next gen to me is the cloud because it did something you couldn't do, which is download a game. Oh wait, you don't download a game. You press a button and it's ready to go. So I definitely hear you on that, man. You know, it's real and it does work. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been a super geek who loves the behind the scenes stuff of everything, like including even things I don't understand. I love like hearing the behind the scenes. So, in fact, I am like on Tuesday. After work on Tuesday. I'm not going home. I'm going to a NVIDIA AI conference that they are hosting in Stockholm, with like keynote speakers from like the top from AI researchers and the like head honcho of NVIDIA. I managed to find the link to the invite through the like newsletter, NVIDIA newsletter somehow, and like decided to sign up. So yeah, I'm going to an AI conference. I know nothing. I don't belong there. I love being there and hearing that kind of stuff. So like, to me, watching those like behind the scenes things of like this is how we do, like for example, how the blog post that they did on how they do the like the common GPU cache, or like. So like essentially, whenever you do something that the game hasn't prepared, it created that like they render that and then they save that frame so that next time someone else needs that frame, they don't need to render it. You can just drag it out. That was like that kind of stuff. I love seeing that. So and I really and they did a lot of those things. You had to dig a bit at times. But whenever they showed that off, it was like, yeah, just cemented cloud is the future. So yeah, looking forward to see what developers can do with that. And Dre is in the house as well now. But guys, if last chance to jump in, if anyone in chat wants to jump into the discussion and chat about Stadia for a while before we start wrapping
And
this
did
up.
you just?
I do have another show
you just-
after this.
Yeah, guys, actually,
Oh
I have
wow.
to go. But yeah, appreciate you for letting me jump in and hang
Yeah.
out with you guys and
Then,
talk.
hey, Lo-Fi, before you jump out, do you have anything going on that you want to shout out?
Uh, be sure to check me out on YouTube, of course, Lo-Fi Monk. But check out CGTV. Join our Discord, and you know, jump into the community. We're still going strong. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But thank you so much for being here, and take care. We'll speak later.
yeah. Peace out, man.
Yeah. Um.
B, you earlier I was listening to you guys and everybody had a race story. Can I just
Yeah, go for it. I want to hear your race
quickly
story.
say my race story?
Of course.
Appreciate it. Man, listen, I always tell him this, and he don't want to take the credit. But Ray has so much to do with me, with my success. When I was a Stadia Source streamer, I didn't call myself the Cowboy. I just thought it was funny to wear a cowboy hat, and no one called me the Cowboy. I was just all-purpose champ. And I seen Ray and everybody in the community like knew him. I didn't know who he was, but he went by the Gaming Cyborg. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then I went following him. I went to his channel, and I would watch him. And then I would like write, I was like, he seems cool enough, but he doesn't know me. So I would write, Cowboys are better than cyborgs. He'd be like, and he would ignore me. And eventually I would do it over and over, and he would catch on like, nah, man, he would respond to me. So then I inboxed him and said, dude, I would love to do content with you. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'll let you know. So he just told me, I'll let you know. So he he said he'll get back to me. So then I was like, why don't I start calling myself the Cowboy? I don't want to be the gaming Cowboy, but go as the Cowboy. I mean, it's so marketable. There's emojis for Cowboys. So really, man, Ray like inspired me to kind of use this moniker as the Cowboy. So I got to thank him so much. And he's like, nah. But yeah, man. So I just wanted to say that I love this dude.
Yeah.
He is the heart of the solar community. He loves every platform. Ray never ever have a problem with any platform. Like he's just like, hey, bring it on. I love it. So just wanted to take the time and say I appreciate
Yeah,
that guy.
definitely.
And
I mean,
he
there are so
definitely
many
helped me
others
out.
in the community that I feel deserves a shout out as well. And I mean, and no matter like I'm gonna miss people that I tonight gonna wake up in the middle of the night like, why didn't I mention that this person? But like in lead, for example, the work that he did with his tracker, amazing. Christopher Clay, who built that, who built the extension
Oh,
that
just say,
everyone was
yeah.
using.
Stadia
like-
extension,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
Stadia
obviously, Rokk,
Hunters.
yes, Stadia Hunters was incredible as well. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't. This show wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Rokk. Let's just put he's a big deal in this community as well.
Oh yeah.
He built a lot of it. Jack the Slip did a lot of work as well. And I mean, yeah, there's so many. Vivi Vivi did a lot of work on the subreddit, and I know he had a lot of those guys who managed the subreddit. I don't envy them at all. That was a nightmare. And I mean, at the end, towards the end, like the last year, I just stopped going there because it was just getting too toxic. Because there were so many trolls coming in, and it must have been horrible to try to moderate that. But they did a great still they did a great job, and also with the Discord as well, also great job of handling that. And also and of course everyone working at Stadia did. Like the people working in the Stadia team, they were all like, I didn't come across anyone that I didn't enjoy hearing about, and everyone did a great job with it. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was a just great bunch of people all over, both within the team at Stadia, within the community, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who did a lot of work that. I mean, I know people like Avery. He was important as well for this community early on.
Yeah, he was.
So
Avery is the guy who, I mean, if you want to call it hired me to Stadia Source.
yeah,
You know?
he recruited you.
Avery he did my interview for Stadia Source. You know.
Yeah. I mean, no.
Yeah, I looked up to him a lot.
We both worked at the same place, Cowboy. I mean,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Was you there when I was still there? When I
I don't think I was there when you were still there. I mean, I joined after SG&E closed. So I don't think you were around when I was there. I mean, my first article was about young souls coming to Stadia. So
Okay.
I think we
Yeah, that
were
was
like
later.
well into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I thought I was definitely there when SG&E closed. Because what I did on my thing, I don't want to give myself a shameless plug, but last night I brought up some of the. I feel like my channel is like the archive. I've interviewed like everybody, right? And so I actually brought up the interview with Avery, and I brought up Avery when he made an analogy about a restaurant in Stadia, and he made an analogy how with SG&E closing it would make people scared. And I said to Holtz, I said, you know what's funny? We gave him hell, but we look back now, he was right. He was actually right. And so so I think I was there. I'm pretty sure I was there when SG&E closed. But anyway, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But yeah, it looks like you're home. So let's wrap it up. Because I like I said before, I have another show to prep for. So Rudy's, what's happening for you for the next couple of days?
Well, usually I stream tonight at 10 p.m., but I think I'm going to take a little break
Yeah,
after
you
last
deserve a
night's
sleep after this.
marathon stream. So I'll be back on Sunday with my weekly podcast talking cloud and console, one word in YouTube. And then next week, weekdays, 10 p.m., I'm back at it streaming. I'm going to be on PlayStation 5 and GeForce Now. Gaming some good games, and that's Rudigz in Twitter and YouTube, RUDIGGZ. Just catch me 10 p.m. on weekdays.
Yeah, awesome. And Cowboy, what's happening? What's on your agenda?
Man, let's talk
the 30 days of Stadia now. What's next?
Bro, let's talk about need a break. So I end up streaming 31 days straight, and my wife wanted to kill me, but
yeah,
I gotta give her credit, man. She was cool about it. But so now that Stadia is done, my focus is gonna be on more. I'm gonna do my 4 days a week, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. But I really want to get into more non-gaming content. I really want to put on like a show, like a podcast, and have I still want to do. I'm gonna still have some times where I'm gonna stream games. I'll be streaming PlayStation 5 or PlayStation games, but I want to do like more of a show. I want to hear more stories from people that has nothing to do with gaming. I want to know what favorite shows you got. I want to know if you guys are a wrestling fan. I want to talk, I don't know, anything. So expect some fresh new content starting Monday. I usually stream on today, but I'm actually going out, so that's a good break for me. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday with some fresh new content, 5:30 Eastern.
Yeah, fresh
and
new energy.
Yes, sir, and it's gonna be epic.
Yeah, I look forward,
awesome.
man. I want to be on the show. I want to be talking topics. I can talk about the time I was on reality TV. Maybe
dude, I want to hear it.
That's a story for another day for sure. Yeah,
I've been on 2 shows.
Hear it.
Been on 2 shows. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Lots to hear. We'll find out more on Cowboy Show. So.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and as for myself, I'm gonna do a bit of a different stream tomorrow. It's not a game stream, but it's actually a tool for it. If anyone out there is playing D&D or like pen and paper role playing games in general, and especially if you're the dungeon master, I'm gonna try out a tool that's gonna be probably very interesting to anyone who does that. It's called Dungeon Alchemist. It's funny. I requested a key for that and like a review key, and I got one. And then as soon as I got that key, I realized I have this game already. I backed this on Kickstarter 2 years ago. I forgot about it. So I'm gonna finally take a look at that. I never looked at it it's been out for over a year. And then obviously my main focus right now is planning the big charity event that I'm planning for mental health charity event. So if you guys have both signed up so far, which is amazing. And if anyone else is watching this who is doing content creation or wants to start doing content creation, then hit me up and we'll get you into that event. It's basically a big weekend where I want as many people as possible to stream. And if you're not going to stream, you can jump in and watch. And if you then donate to anyone participating in this, you'll be in the drawing for a bunch of giveaways. I think currently I'm up to about 30 games to give away. and I've got more coming in, so it's gonna be big with a lot of fun stuff happening. And speaking of giveaways, Rokk is hosting some giveaways, so head over to rockshow.com, I think it is, to find out more about those. There's a giveaway going for Forspoken, I think it is, which should be ending next week, so don't miss that. And also Hogwarts Legacy, and then there's also the regular, the reoccurring, I think almost daily, on Rock Around the Clock as well. And yeah, and also I have a review coming for Paw Patrol Grand Prix dropping on Monday. So yeah, finally finished that video. Started working on that in December. Now it's finally done. That's the time it takes me to make anything. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to see more content, then and since Cowboy isn't doing anything after this, I am. Me and Ninja IX is actually gonna sit down and do a live version of our video game music show called Hear Me Out. So in about 30 minutes ish, we go live, and we're gonna take a look at some songs that like the other one hasn't heard before, and talk about video game music for a bit. So please come hang out and chat for that.
Nice.
And without further ado, then let's roll the outro and have a great night, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you maybe next week. Who knows?